Hey guys, welcome to the Conscious Flow podcast. We're your hosts, Kevin and Marley.
Hey guys.
We have a big wet spot right here, and that's from our dog, Julian, that was just up here. Now he's gone. So yeah, we want to talk about our, especially if you're new here, we want to share with you guys our belief system so you know who you're listening to.
Yeah.
And there's so many different belief systems. We have friends that believe all different kinds of things. And I mean, I think at the core of it, we believe everybody can get along.
Yeah, I feel like this is a really good thing to dive into because I think as soon as you start to share your truth, and that's what we've been doing on our podcast, is sharing our truth and our belief systems, it can come across as, we want other people to believe the same thing as we do, which isn't the case. And so I think let's dive in here and talk about it, because just because we're sharing our truths and our beliefs here, it doesn't mean I want everyone to believe what I believe. And it's because really at the core, like, all of our belief systems are shaped by our personal life experiences and what we're told, societal programming. And so no one person is ever going to believe the exact same thing. Kevin and I have differing beliefs, and that's something that I feel like is really valuable to talk about, because I think a lot of places in the world, a lot of religions or teachings, it's all about like, you gotta believe this one thing, and if you don't believe it, then we can't be friends or something. And I really want to like shatter that with this podcast. I want to talk to people and interview people in our community who have different belief systems, and I also want to feel free to share what I believe. So.
Yeah, because we've already ran into certain situations where people might not want to come on our podcast because they're not sure what we believe, and then they don't want to associate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to be clear, and also we want to bring clarity to other people's lives also.
Yeah.
And so where should we even begin with this one? Should we
Yeah.
Should we start with your beliefs, Marley?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's such a broad thing to talk about. It's interesting because I feel like right now I'm going through pretty major shifts. I don't know if it's even in my belief system, but in my life purpose. I am stepping back from my healing work and from doing one-on-one sessions with people, at least for the month, maybe indefinitely. And it's been pretty emotional and pretty interesting to actually see my ego dying in a way, and feel like who I was identified with as this healer is kind of taking a step back, and it's allowing a different version of me to step forward. And so it's just been an interesting process. And so I feel like I'm actually reevaluating my belief systems right now. And that being said, let's see. I guess the healing work I was doing was pretty out there work. I was doing past life readings, and I called it Galactic Reiki, or just Reiki, whatever you want to call it. But it was calling in higher dimensional beings to bring healing work to my clients. And it was really powerful. I set really, really strong boundaries with the astral. And I guess all of my belief systems have been shaped by my personal experiences, not so much, I guess, what I've been told. I feel like I really have gone deep through my societal programming, what I've been taught from a young age, and sort of rewrote that script. And so I would say a lot of my belief systems are more based off of my awakening process and spontaneously reliving my past life memories, and it pushing me to question everything that I'd been taught, and open my mind to believing in the impossible, I guess. So, what do I believe? Where do I start? I'm not really sure. Do you have any questions that can kind of
Prompt you
prompt
on
me
this?
here?
Yeah. So, I mean, we've in some of the recent episodes we talk about aliens. Mm-hmm. So, what is your current beliefs on aliens?
Yeah, I believe in aliens. I believe that we can connect with them, we can contact them, and that they're with us. And I feel like they're not that scary. I feel like humans have been programmed to fear extraterrestrials through the media, through movies, through books.
So, do you believe in what you believe in 100%?
No. No, I think that's actually one of the things that I feel is really important, so that I stay open-minded and so that I don't get locked into one way of thinking, is even the things that I feel pretty solid on, I'm at 90%. And I don't think I'll ever be at 100. And actually, this is something I've been working through in myself, is I'm like, why can't I 100% believe in everything that I have believed in? And I think it's because I just want to leave a 10% question mark there so that I can stay open, and that allows space for me to listen to other people's perspectives and not feel like my ego is super tied to my beliefs. And then I'm not totally, shattered, or I don't feel like my ego is going to be threatened if someone doesn't believe the same thing as me, or if they're challenging my belief system. I can more readily sort of step back and be like willing to reevaluate, because my ego isn't quite so tied to this belief system. And yeah, I feel like it really has helped me to be in that place, because I have experienced many times where I have believed in something really, really strongly, and then I'm proven wrong, and my whole world feels like it's shattering, and I'm like, wait, what? And so, yeah, I think that that's important. I mean, what do you believe, Kevin? And let's just start off by by asking, what do you believe? And I know that's like a broad question, but what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Yeah. Well, just to add to that, I mean, I feel like I'm maybe like 90% or even like 70% sometimes.
Yeah, and
Because
different things. Yeah.
Because I want to leave room. I can see myself going down different timelines of believing certain things also, and I'm open to things. I'm not set on like one particular thing. So what do I believe right now? Well, I mainly believe in dun 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 evolution.
Yeah.
So yeah, I believe that there was something like the Big Bang Theory that happened about like 4 to 8 billion years ago, and then that we kind of evolved from the first kind of molecules that had life in the water, and then we developed flippers and started swimming, and then eventually we came onto land and, evolved over hundreds of millions of years. And so evolution, I mean, I'm still open to, other things like, well, it's possible that aliens brought life to this planet, and we can't rule that out.
That's kind of, that is kind of my belief system, which sounds
Okay.
kind of out there, but I mean, I think that aliens is kind of a weird word, but I feel like there's other life forms that contributed to life on Earth who hold a higher state of awareness. And there might be some people who might also say that God created everyone. And
right, that's the other thing I was going to say is, I mean, I could see that also, like, okay, the divine creator, like Jesus,
right,
or God, creating the earth in 7 days. I can also see that timeline.
Right, and then I'm like, also in some way, can every perspective be true to an extent? Like, I mean, I feel like I've had a hard time with speaking my truth because it's my truth. And I feel like I can see other people's perspectives, and I understand that that's their truth based off of their experiences, and it's true for them. And so there's almost like this disconnect that I feel like happens with different belief systems, where it's like, oh, if you believe this, then you're contradicting my belief, and then we can't coexist.
Right.
But I'm like, how can we sort of bridge that gap a little bit? Because I feel like, to me, when I'm listening to someone's belief systems, I can like fully get on their level, and I'm like, yeah, I see that. I see why you believe that. And then I'm also like, word choice is really powerful, and like what words mean to one person might mean something else to someone else. And there's like, when we get into the spirituality, it can be really hard to put things into words. And then when you're talking about something like Christianity and the Bible, it's like there's so many different interpretations because it's like just words on a page. But like spirituality is like experienced through our human experience. Like we can't just speak it out loud. And I feel like also it's really important to be open to each other's perspectives.
Yeah. Should we also talk about some of our theories too? Like about...
Yeah, like what?
Well, about like how the Bible possibly got created.
Oh, I don't remember what theory. Tell me what your theory is.
Well, I mean, I feel like people will, like, it's not like we're trying to disprove anything. I think just to have a conversation without a motive, like I want to bring up this story about a possible scenario of how the Bible was created.
Right. And before you do that, I just
Yeah.
want to say, like, we're coming from a place of curiosity and just exploring things. We're not... That's like the whole point of this podcast, is to expand our minds and explore different possibilities freely without judgment, and explore different perspectives of the world, and like how we can, I guess, deeper understand different perspectives and where certain stories came from, like the Bible. So anyway, this is just pure innocent curiosity.
Yeah. And like, if you listening are curious about something, like, you're not alone in your curiosity either. Like, this is
Right.
It's not like you're not allowed to be curious. So anyways, I just
Right.
want to share a possible
Okay,
scenario
share. Yeah.
of the Bible. So, you know, Jesus is this kind of this crazy character that like everybody
Okay.
everybody was talking about. He's saying he's healing people, he's catching bushes on fire, and
You catches
walking on
bushes.
water.
Okay.
And
I guess I don't know all the stories behind
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
so one of my theories is that yes, this guy totally existed, and people wrote stories about him and books, and through generations the story got a little bit skewed and exaggerated. And so if you think of somebody today, somebody like almost like a celebrity, you know, who's being written about, and then it just gets kind of skewed over time. And that's one of the possibilities.
Right.
So it's like a real person that potentially just evolved like everybody else through, and is just a normal human, but he got written about in a way that sort of exaggerated things as his story was changed over time through books.
Right.
And then somebody figured out how to capitalize on it.
Wow, Kenneth, that's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like we have differing beliefs on, like, or theories on Jesus too, because I feel like spiritually I've tuned into Jesus, and I'm like, Jesus is a pure soul who I feel like existed and had a positive impact on the world. It's a little over my head, like what what the Bible is. Yeah, I'm not sure. And there are things about it that I have a lot of questions about. I feel like I don't even know if I can speak too much on it right now, because I am seeing, like, I'm getting like tripped up because I'm seeing the perspective of someone who totally believes in the Bible, and then I'm seeing the perspective of someone who is like, the Bible is, you know, just a way to capitalize on people's belief systems. And I don't know, I'm just like, it's hard because, and I feel like this is how my brain works, so maybe this is helping you guys see where I'm coming from too. Is just that I feel like I can see every perspective, and I get really tripped up sometimes.
Yeah.
And just kind of like, whoa, and then I just end up coming back to myself, my own experiences, and what my personal belief systems are. And I feel like speaking on personal experience feels like really valuable. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then also, yeah, exploring these theories. I mean, we explore these theories all the time. So I'm not trying to like shut down your theory at all.
No, yeah, we talk about it pretty often.
Yeah, I think I'm just zooming out and like
Yeah, I don't know quite where I was going
perspectives
with
right
that,
now.
but
Well,
yeah,
I mean, the thing is like, what is the Bible and who wrote it? I mean, supposedly it was written like 200 years after Jesus even existed, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like, yeah, where did that come from? And
yeah, I mean, I can also see a timeline of where it's everything in it is completely accurate, and you know, there's like all the artifacts in wherever ancient Greece, or I mean, I'm not too familiar with the artifacts, but I did grow up going to church, and so I know a little bit about it. But yeah,
I guess I question a lot about religion, respectfully, because yeah, I feel like being told what to believe is kind of a dangerous territory. And when there's this industry, it seems like, that's has a lot of control over people's belief systems and gets to dictate what's allowed to be believed and what's not, there's like something that feels really off about it.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, we can't talk about it without talking about tithing,
Right.
which is where you give 10 to 20% of your income to the church.
Right.
And I think that goes for like Catholic churches. I think pretty much all churches, Mormon churches. I think
Right.
maybe especially Mormon churches.
Right.
So
Right. And that's so what you give a percentage of your income to the church, and what do they do with that money?
well, they pay the pastors, and
Right.
maybe they help with the infrastructure for the church. But yeah, which I mean, that's a great like.
Yeah.
I mean, the people got to get
It's hard
paid.
to say. Like,
Yeah.
this is where I get tripped up again. It's just like nothing is black and white. And yeah, I mean, we both were generally raised not in the church. And so we're looking at it from the outside. We're in it. I feel like we're talking about it right now because there's a lot of people in our community who are in part of the church. And so it's raising a lot of awareness to me, I guess, and bringing up a lot of questions about what is this church, and like how do people become part of the church, and what do they believe, and also what does it mean to be part of the church. And there's different churches too that you can be part of, and so it's not black and white. And so yeah, it's confusing, where I feel like I have been sort of taught to question everything and to choose my own path and choose my own belief systems. And so yeah, that's kind of like where I'm coming from with everything.
Yeah. And I think like, you know, a lot of people are looking for community too. So like, that's great. What I can also question evolution too, because it's like, well, how would life actually form and then start evolving, you know?
Right.
And I mean, we can see a little bit of an example of evolution, at least. Like we looked up that thing with dogs about how dogs evolve, right?
Yeah.
So that was saying basically they've evolved over the last, was it 10,000 years or?
Gosh, I don't know. I think it was unclear. 10 to 15 or 10 to 50 that? Wait,
Yeah.
50 that.
Maybe
I don't know.
10 to 15,000.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we were just questioning. We were looking at our little dog, and we're like, where did you come from? You know, were you created with all the other animals and on the sixth day, or did you evolve from a wolf because you're super cute and you don't look anything like a wolf? So we were just questioning it, and then we looked up some research about, you know, like what does evolution say about dogs evolving? And basically the video we saw explained how dogs approached humans and started eating the food scraps, and then sort of eventually got domesticated by the humans. And then it was
Or
like
wolves.
Yeah, oh yeah, wolves.
Wolves, like maybe were fed by the humans. The wolves that were a little less afraid of humans were more willing to approach the human who was offering them food scraps.
Right. It was like
and then
this,
it kind of like slowly turned into this dynamic where the wolves were getting fed by the humans, and then they actually just chose, supposedly, this was the story we listened to of their evolution, was that the wolves maybe just kind of chose to be, what do you call it?
Domesticated.
Domesticated, yeah. Anyway, and then it just kind of, they evolved from there, and then humans started breeding the dogs to have different traits. And
Right. So like certain dogs are born with like really cute ears, and then the breeders will just keep those dogs, and then over time you get like these really cute dogs from this other breed, and that actually happens pretty quickly.
yeah,
So
their traits will,
yeah, and
reproduce. Yeah. So I guess I question evolution because I'm like, what causes something to evolve? And like, what is that underlying energy? And I just can't see it as this is just a random mutation in the gene or whatever that made the creature animal like have a better property that made it survive better, and then the other ones died off. I'm like, what caused that mutation? There has to be, in my opinion, like an underlying consciousness that is driving evolution that is not really,
I mean, that's the question that
the scientific theory.
Right. That is the question that the scientists can't really answer, is what's the force behind the creating those genetic mutations.
Right.
Like you were wondering. I mean,
and then really, did everything come from one organism? I question that too. It's interesting too. I have to say that it's easier for me to openly question the scientific theories than to openly question the religious theories.
Is that from like the collective consciousness of the...
Yeah. I feel like this, almost like I'm gonna get attacked if I question the religious teachings, or that I'm gonna say the wrong thing and it's gonna really offend someone. And like, that's also like why we're making this podcast, is to encourage people to, drop it down to like 90%. Like, consider believing something just a little bit less, and like, doesn't mean you don't believe it, but actually like that is what has helped me really anchor in my beliefs. And when I talk about my beliefs, I sound really solid. I sound like I'm at like 110, because, and then I'm not. I'm like, prove me wrong. But when was it? It was like a couple months ago that you were like, I guess I opened up to you and I was like, just so you know, like, I don't totally believe in everything 100% that I
and I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, I thought she was like pretty set.
No, yeah. And I think that but when you're not set, you open up to being willing to be proven wrong. And when you're being willing to be proven wrong, you can also be proven right in a lot of ways. And I mean, it's also not like you still want to like stay at that. I mean, this is my belief too. I'm telling you guys how to do it, and you don't have to do it my way, but dropping it down to like 90% and being willing to be proven wrong actually can like open you up to being shown what is your truth, and being willing to like let that ego, that outer ego that's like kind of latches on to belief systems, and this is who I am because this is what I believe, like it kind of softens a little bit, and then you can actually explore like what really is my truth. And you might find that everything you've been taught to believe, like maybe it isn't your truth. Or you might also find that everything that you've been believing does stand true for you. But I think that being willing to like drop it down a little is really powerful. And that is maybe the challenge that I have with the church, with questioning the church. There's like not a lot of room for dropping your belief systems down to like 90, 70%, because then you're not, you know, there's a lot of guilt and there's a lot of shame around it. And
right.
wow.
Well, we interviewed a woman about why she left the Mormon church after 30 years.
Yeah.
And she was saying there's a lot of shame, or like there's like you're not supposed to question. If you question it, that is it's kind of like you're losing your faith. Or it's a sign of like you're questioning.
Or it's like there's something wrong with you
if
you're questioning it. And that's scary. Like, that's scary to me, to be in a system where you're told because you're questioning things, you're questioning society or what you've been taught, then like there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Then that belief right there is what causes separation. And that's exactly what she was describing, was that, you know, family members, loved ones won't talk to her anymore. And it's just like, I guess that's what, that's one of the big things that I question. Is
right.
If you can't question your belief systems, if you can't explore other people's perspectives, why? What's so scary about hearing someone else's perspective? And what will that really do? Like, I understand that there's really deep like programming, and there's really deep.
Yeah, well, I think it's like it's almost like a ego attack. You know, if you're talking to somebody that is really religious or even just set on evolution, or they're really set on it,
Right.
then, I mean, I think you just you can just tell when you're talking to them that there's no way that they're not going to believe what they're saying.
Yeah.
Or they're not open to anything.
Yeah. Totally. And gosh, I'm like sweating right now. Like, first of all, it's really hot in here, because we had to shut all the windows. But second of all, because it's like kind of nerve-wracking to talk about the church in this way. And I always get nervous. And but it's no different than questioning evolution and the theory of evolution. And I think that personally, I don't feel, just from my exploring my own belief systems and stuff, I don't feel like everything came from one single organism kind of thing, or one life form. I feel like everything was sort of seeded by from different places. And I do feel like there are other life forms outside of just this dimension, this planet, that helped bring life on Earth into fruition. And we are really intelligent beings, and I think our DNA is very complex. Like, the way that we work is very complex, and I don't feel like that's just random chance, just intuitively.
Yeah. Okay, so I have some questions for you on that.
Yeah.
So you talk about this other life from other planets. Like, what other planets do you think? And then also, where did that life come from originally? Because it all had to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. That's a great question. I mean, Yeah, I mean, I just feel like other planets, I don't know, multiple different planets.
Yeah.
I feel like it's hard for me to say one
Right.
planet. It's kind of more of like a,
They're like throughout the galaxy.
yeah,
kind
throughout
of,
the
yeah.
galaxy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's a bunch of planets we don't even know
Yeah.
the names of.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's part of why I've questioned my own readings that I've done for people, is that I don't, like, when I'm reading maybe their soul origin and where their soul has come from or something, I'm like, I don't really know that my vocabulary and that my knowledge is adept enough to be able to tell you where you come from, kind of thing. And so even that, like, and that's, I mean, yeah, so I feel like I can't say where life came from, but just intuitively, I just feel like it never starts from one place. I guess. I don't feel like that's how it works. I don't know. Like, I feel like I can't even picture one planet being like, this is where all life started, you know? Because time is existing. We want to see things linearly, but like on a multi-dimensional, higher dimensional level, everything's existing simultaneously. This is quantum physics. They do calculations to look at what other dimensions could look like and how they work. And so this is like actually kind of proven, or a theory on a scientific level, that as like there are higher dimensional states of being where time is existing simultaneously. And time is just an element in this third dimension where we're moving from like one moment to the next. But yeah, and so I'm not really scientific minded. Again, I speak, maybe this is like, okay, this is where it gets complicated, because I'm like, what is science really? Because I feel like that confuses me too.
Right. It's just like, you know, how do they know how much vitamin A is in something, and is it the same vitamin A that's in something else? They have like, they're looking at these molecules or whatever, but like, what are these? You know, it's like an explanation for something that is almost not even comprehensible.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't know. I feel like science is confusing for me because in a way I'm like, I'm exploring my consciousness almost as a scientist might explore other things. Like, I've put myself in different controlled I try to like do these controlled experiments with myself where I'm like, okay, if I neutralize my emotions, what happens now? And like, in a way that's like kind of scientific, I guess, where I'm doing these experiments on myself through my consciousness. And like, what do I experience now? And what happens in my body when I explore this, and what happens in my body when I tap into something that I feel like is a truth. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's where I'm like, what really defines what science is, you know?
Right. Okay. And then I was thinking of another question for you. So how does you believe 90% in this thing, and so how, or whatever you believe, I mean, how does it give you like a feeling of joy and happiness? You know, like, do
Oh,
you feel a connection with something, or?
yeah. Like, how does the 90% or less?
Yeah, well, maybe I'll start with mine
Yeah,
here.
yeah, you tell me what
Okay,
yours is.
so my 90% is evolution. So how does that bring me joy if I just think we're just evolved and, like, from a fish or whatever? So how does that bring me joy? Okay, well, one area that is super simple, but it actually brings me a lot of joy, and it's basically just knowing that we're, like, a way for the universe to experience itself. I think Carl Sagan actually said something along the lines of this that really stuck with me, and he's basically saying that, like, when the Earth existed, it before there was life, it's almost like it wanted a way to experience itself. And so that could have been the reason that the first molecule had life in it. And so when I think back to that saying, I really resonate with it, and it gives me a lot of joy to just, like, sit here or sit anywhere, sit at the beach or sit on a bench and look around and be in the present moment and just be like, wow, this is like, I am a vessel for the universe to know itself and observe itself, and seeing the world,
Wow,
and, like,
that's beautiful.
I think that that kind of sparked my interest in traveling, because I was like, oh, I want to, like, see the world, experience the world. And then, like, I also kind of realized, like, you don't have to travel around to experience the universe. Like, you can experience the differences day to day in the exact same place. And that's actually what I've been experiencing on the beautiful tropical island that we live on in Hawaii, on Oahu. And, because, like, we pretty much never leave this island, and we get a lot of joy being here. And so I'm just experiencing it. Sometimes we stay, like, pretty much in the same little radius on the island, and I can get a lot of joy from being on the same place on the same island, just by experience the different parts of the day, the different fish in the water.
Oh,
And so I get a lot of joy from that.
wow.
So, yeah. So I wanted to
Okay.
ask you, what brings you joy from your
Wow.
beliefs?
Okay. Gosh, that was really well said. I mean, on one level, I feel like our beliefs overlap a lot, and your open mindedness is really nice too. I feel like it helps me be even more open minded to other perspectives. So, yeah, I do feel like I believe that we are the universe experiencing itself too. And we take on all these different forms, and we have these different souls, I guess. We are these different, each of us are fragments of the universe experiencing itself, learning through these experiences. And so I think a lot of times I'll listen to spiritual speakers talk about how to become enlightened. And there are times when I've wondered, is that even the goal, to become enlightened? Or is it to experience these different perspectives? Because really at the core, we're all one. We're all like love. We're all this one energy at the core, whatever you want to call it. And so do we really, like, is our everyone's path to become enlightened? And I just feel like maybe not. Like, we're here to to just be and experience different forms of existence.
Right. And maybe even different beliefs.
Different beliefs. And some people are here to evolve, and some people are here to just be stuck in their ways and whatever. And so, I don't know. I also think that just through my journey of remembering my past lives, I've been able to tap into like hundreds of different perspectives from just my previous incarnations. And then when I've done readings for people, I've tapped into also like hundreds of different perspectives from each person, and how their perspective changes based off of their incarnations. But there's also a consistency that carries on from one life to the next, where the soul remembers, and the soul has this consistent way of being that's shaped by their previous incarnations, and it shapes who they are, why they think the way that they do, the way they interact with people. And yeah, and so I think what brings me joy and peace is really just knowing that I'm living a good life right now and enjoying life. And also, I feel like we can have people kind of come and go in our lives, and it used to kind of bother me where I was like, oh, this person's dropping out of my life now. But now, and we have a song that we listen to that says this exact thing, and I really like this song. But now I can kind of have the perspective of, oh, I'll just see them in my next life. And
oh yeah, that's maybe we need to get into AI here, because that's an AI song, right?
Right. Yeah.
Which is incredible music, and
It's
there's a
annoyingly so good.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's called I'll Find You in My Next Life, and it's just like a really beautiful song, and I feel like it's the theme of my life, because it's kind of like, I think it's kind of like it's a love song, but I feel like it applies for me with everyone, where I'm like, if we aren't aligned, if we can't show up for each other in this life, like, I'll just see you in the next life. And it's kind of like an acknowledgement of like, we had a connection, we have a friendship, but like, if we don't reconnect, like, I'll see you in the next life.
Yeah.
And yeah. Well, before we get into AI, just to close it off, I feel like the joyful part of it for me is just like not feeling like there's an end to existence.
Oh yeah.
And just kind of like, how can I make this life be the best that it can be? And I don't feel this like time constraint, because I feel like my truth is that life will carry on in a different form.
Right.
And I'm not going to just completely cease to exist. And that feels very peaceful for me, and very like, yeah, good. And just kind of like, how can I feel like I can just be joyful and have fun. Right. And I'm not worried about like trying to like be this specific kind of person because we only have one life or whatever, Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that's really nice. Like,
yeah.
So you believe the life just carries on into another life, and like, that's a beautiful cycle. And
yeah. Or not. Or life isn't just this dimension either. Like, this isn't the only way of life. Like, what we call death, I don't think that that's dying. I think that's transitioning. It's like transitioning into another form of being. So,
right.
Anyway.
And yeah, that could really help, like, in your current life, just having that mindset could actually be really beneficial for.
Yeah.
So
It feels
yeah,
peaceful.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then let me get this straight. So Christians don't believe that, right? That's
No,
like
I don't.
they don't
Actually,
believe
no.
in,
I think
or some do.
it's a little more complicated than that.
Okay.
I've heard the whole higher self perspective. That's where I feel like we need to talk to or interview a Christian if we want to get what they believe.
Yeah, totally. And
Yeah.
then there's evolution, which is basically saying that when you die, that's pretty much it
Right.
for you. I think for the most part in evolution, that's pretty much, like as soon as the consciousness is as soon as there's no more like energy in the brain and you die, that's basically it. So
Okay, I can get behind that too, though.
yeah, and I was gonna say like that's also, a could be a beneficial perspective to have in this life. Just knowing like this is it, like this is your one life, and then
It's over.
it's over.
Yeah. And I can get behind that too because I'm like, yeah, okay, our souls carry on, but who you are in this life goes black. So this is where I'm like, both perspectives could be considered true. And like, you could also say that like when you die, this version of you will cease to exist because that's true.
Right. Well, I think
So
I think evolution also goes beyond the soul too, where like it's like there's no next life, there's no soul crossing over. So and like this is what I believe sometimes, and it might be one of my stronger beliefs, that basically when you die, it's complete darkness and
my
nothingness.
and that's peaceful for you.
Yeah, like I'm like this
my
is it.
gosh.
This is it. Yeah, like
Dang.
basically, if you can imagine, like try to imagine that for a moment. So before you came into this life, there was complete darkness. You began your existence as soon as you like your brain had enough energy to like develop the consciousness. Okay, then you're like alive. Okay, then let's say you have a peaceful death, when you're 90 years old or 100 years old, and as soon as your brain stops the activity, then like that's it. It's just complete darkness. And like, how does that make you feel? Or what does it raise in you? Like any red flags? You're like, no.
No,
Really?
because I don't feel like it challenges my beliefs. It's just kind of like, yeah, you can believe that.
Right.
I don't know. I'm like, yeah, I still feel like my soul carries on.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, yeah, I also go black.
Mm-hmm.
So both.
Yeah, because
Both
I
are
could
true.
also believe, while believing evolution, or in the Bible, that you carry over to the next life. And,
Right. I don't know. That's where I would like to learn more from other people. And I don't know if Christianity believes in reincarnation. That might.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that one.
Well, I mean, these are the conversations like we want to have to, again, bring that clarity. And
Yeah.
we want to have conversations with Christians and scientists.
Yeah, and just see what comes. I mean, obviously, like, we have our truths, and I'm going to question things that maybe I question. But I also feel like people believe what they do for a reason, and I want to understand it.
Yeah.
So it's really like curiosity.
Well, and did we touch on past lives? Because I feel like we kind of touched on like, carrying over to the next life. But what about like exactly like past lives. And
Yeah.
because like, how do you think you can remember past lives? Because
How do I remember, or anyone?
yeah, how do you, and then how does anybody kind of tap into that?
Yeah. Well, I think that I remembered my past life memories spontaneously, and I was experiencing a lot of like pain in my body, really intense anxiety, really severe tension in my body. And it was just building and building and building. And then I spontaneously had a past life memory come up, and I'd been seeking out alternative forms of healing. But I feel like it was like really physical and like through my body. And the memory was really traumatic. And I wrote about this in my book, Before I Live, I Die. Anyway, I'll link that down below. But yeah, it was like super traumatic. And so how the memories came forward was through my body and through my emotions. But it was also very physical. Like I had literal physical knots in my body pulsing as the memory was relived. And it kind of like was looping, reliving the traumatic memory until I was able to see a past life therapist and actually work through the memory. But for me, like how they came forward was very unexpected, and it was through my emotional body, but experienced very physically. And so that's how it was for me. And then over time, I really like learned how to navigate past lives, how to heal them efficiently, and how to clear past life karma so that cycles our soul repeats across many lifetimes don't continue to repeat in our current lives. So we can break like patterns that our soul has been locked in across many, many, many lifetimes of repeating the same, if you had addiction patterns, like breaking that cycle in this life. So, and to do that is intentionally clearing the karma just through speaking it out loud and awareness of, oh, this is a cycle I've repeated before, so I'm going to stop now. How someone can tap into their past lives is, well, first of all, everything, this is my belief system, by the way, 90%. But like everything that we experience in our current lives is like based off of all of our past life experiences. And so it's all super intertwined. The relationships you have, the job that you have, like everything, it's super deeply interconnected. If you think someone was in a past life with you, they probably were. And to tap in is to just drop into your emotional body and to listen and to feel your emotional body and to feel your feelings and just be open to memories coming forward, just like any other memory, because past lives can come up just like any memory from your past can come up. And the more you get to know how your memories can get triggered up, the more you can learn how to trigger up your past life memories, if that makes sense. Usually it's like something in our current life can trigger up a past life memory. And if we're just intending to be open to that, that's what that can come up. But I will say past lives can be really intense. They're sort of like the root wounds of everything we experience. They can be really, really deep. And so you just have to be open to it and willing to go there. And yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And yeah, your book is available on Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I do, just to close it off, like
Yeah.
anyone can tap into their past lives, I think. And I think it's really
Yeah,
simple.
and I mean, I've done that too. Like, I think,
Yeah.
just I can, like when I used to race cars, I was like, oh, I could have been a race car driver in a past life. And so
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of real world examples of that. And so I can't deny that because I'm like, I kind of see it,
Yeah.
and, I can even feel it too.
Yeah.
So, and then I think of like, other people that I know, I'm like, oh, they were definitely a certain kind of like sea animal or something
Yeah.
in a past life.
Yeah. And the more you play with it, the more you're like, oh, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I've had so many people tell me their past lives, and they're like, I was a race car driver in a past life, I think. And I'm like, yeah, you were.
Mm-hmm.
Because your body remembers, because it's through our emotions and through our sentience and through just like connecting with our bodies that those memories can come forward. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've got a lot of exciting people that are going to be coming on the show that we're going to be interviewing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
we're
I'm really excited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we're going to be releasing episodes every Sunday, every week on Sunday, 8 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Help
Yeah.
us get to 500 subscribers.
Mm-hmm. Yep, let's keep growing the pod.
Yeah, any final remarks here on the...
Yeah. Well, I think I just wanted to do this episode to just clear up what our beliefs are, where we stand, and what our intentions are with this podcast. And I hope that we did a good job. And I think beliefs are such a broad topic, and so it's hard to like be like, this is what I believe, because but never on here am I ever trying to tell someone what to believe. Like,
right, we're not trying to push our beliefs on whoever we're interviewing.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do in the, just with people we meet. We're not trying to, push beliefs on them.
Yeah.
So, I hope this cleared, kind of brought a little clarity on our podcast.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening, guys.
Thanks for listening.
All right. Aloha.